everyone, this is Riccardo Masini and this is Vlog, and this is Give Us Victories by the Simula Edizioni, which is an Italian publisher. Okay, the author of this game, or one of these games to be more accurate, is Sergio Schiavi, which you should already know from his other two titles that have been also distributed all around internationally, which are Radetzky's March and From Salerno to Rome. Now Sergio comes back to us with Give Us Victories, a game about one of the greatest campaigns in the American Civil War, which is the Battle of Chancellorsville. More accurately, once again, the Chancellorsville campaign. I'm sorry, I think it should be pronounced Chancellorsville, but as always, I'm not a native English language speaker, so my pronunciation may be a bit weird to you. Anyway, Chancellorsville, but this is not just a game. I said that this is one of other games. Why? Because in this box, as we shall see, the simple box, there is not just one game about Chancellorsville, but there are 4 different games. This is a very interesting offer from the Simula Edizioni. What I'm going to do now is what I like to call to my Italian listeners a WLOG-boxing. That is an unboxing made in the fashion of vlog of this channel. That is, it's not simply I open a shrink-wrapped game and say, oh, here's the map, oh, here are the counters. No, I've already opened it because I had this game because I made the pledge in the Kickstarter for the game. So this is my personal copy, and I have already examined it, and I will expose the contents of the game to you in a reasoned fashion, right? Because I already examined them. It is not a total surprise to me. Also, keep in mind, I'm in contact with Sergio. He's a great friend of mine, so I already have some inside information about the game, and this is what I'm going to share with you in this episode. That is, let's go to the game. I was saying one of 4 different games because this box contains Give Us Victories, which is the operational game with a campaign scenario, with the entire Chancellorsville campaign, and also smaller scenarios, more focused scenarios on single portions of the battlefield, or single episodes, single days, the Jackson's attack, Salem Church, and so on and so on. Well, you know even better than me those episodes. And this is the first game, Give Us Victories proper. After that, second game mode, there is a solitaire game inside, which is designed by Giacomo Fusetti, and hooray for old Joe, that is Joe Hooker, and it is a solitaire bot. Keep in mind, Give Us Victories is a cheat pool game, has a cheat pool activation mechanism, which lends itself quite well to solitaire, but Hooray for Old Joe also has a totally independent artificial intelligence. We'll see in a moment how it works. It is quite interesting. I read some reports by Giacomo on the design process of his solitaire bot, and it is very interesting, very innovative. And also Give Us Victories is innovative because you have cheat pool. Okay, this is not innovative at all because we all know across 5 apples of Battle Hymn of a victory lost at the thousands of games with the cheat pool, the Blind Swords system by Herman Latman. However, there are other innovations. For example, Give Us Victories, we're speaking now, and but this also works for Hooray for Old Joe because it is the solitaire bot for Give Us Victories. Give Us Victories, for example, when 2 units have to fight, okay, they find a force ratio 3-1, 2-1, etc. between the combat values, but that force ratio does not lead you to a table. I roll 1d6 and see on this table what happens, how many losses, full retreats, and so on. But leads to a number. That number is the number of dice you are going to roll, because after that there is a bucket of dice. A 3-2-1, for example, might lead, I'm saying numbers by chance, for example, might lead you to okay, 3-2-1, roll 4 dice, and you have this bonus to the attack, this bonus by terrain, troops, experience, and so on and so on. For every 5 or 6 you make a loss to the attacker, who, if he wants, can cancel one of those losses, but he has to retreat. If he retreats, well, he retreats, but if he was behind a defensive position, which gave him other bonus, well, he retreats, but he is disorganized. It is a very interesting system, also a highly interactive also movement sequence, because if you move one of your units near adjacent to an enemy unit, the other player, the opponent, may say, okay, I immediately withdraw my unit, so I refuse the contact. It is highly interactive. It is highly interactive. There's no, essentially, there's no downtime from this. And this gives us victories. The solitaire bot, okay, works with give us victory. There is also a first game, which is the strategic one. The strategic game, which is A Perfect Plan by Giovanni Maccioni. And this is and I'm saying it in a very positive way, reminiscent of some postcard games. You know, those postcard games you find against the odds magazine. It's not a postcard game at all, because it has a map, there's units, so it is a full-blown game, okay? But it has that simplicity, that essence. But in that essential, very, very minimalistic approach, I was looking for the right term. With that minimalistic approach, because very simple, 2 pages, very introductory level wargame, it really captures some elements of the campaign, the uncertainty, the fog of war, the concentration of forces, all this stuff. And it is also very good to begin to initiate someone to wargaming. Begin wargaming for yourself if you are not an expert, if you are total newbie, but also to initiate one of your friends to wargaming with a absolutely simple system which plays in half an hour, 1 hour maximum. And this is the third game system inside the box. The fourth game system is Red Die of Courage by Giuseppe Tamba. And Giuseppe Tamba is an expert in not just board war games. You may probably you know him also from Twitter, and being one of the main organizers of the Federazione Italiana Wargame. But Giuseppe also has made a skirmish system called Red Die of Courage. That is a system which is very reminiscent of 3D wargame, of miniature wargaming. Inside we will see that in a moment. You will also find paper figures which you can use with that system, with a ruler, with a free map, also with scenic elements. But of course you have miniatures lying around. We're all wargaming, we have miniatures lying around in our houses for the greatest happiness of our partners, or life partners, and scenic, so you can throw them on a table and blah, here you go. Also, this is a very simple system, Red Die Courage, very simple skirmish system, quite reminiscent of Song of Blades and Arrows, and because you decide how many dice you're going to roll for a certain action to obtain a certain number of successes, but if you roll many dice, you may have also a lot of failures, which is if you make one with one die is a failure, two ones is a critic failure, and 3 ones is a total disaster. And also in the game you accumulate red dice of courage, which are essentially friction, which can give you dramatic successes or dramatic failures, and so you have to try to maintain some control over your troops, but you're going to lose that. but it also sandbox system, because okay, it is historical, there are levels of experience, there are different equipments, everything is historical, but it is a sandbox. So that is, you can design your own scenarios. It has almost a role play element. So as every skirmish game, it is very free in its setup and its premises. You can define your different objectives. Essentially, it is just a set of different guidelines. So these are the 4 games, but let's see what's inside that box to make those 4 different games, which are all inside this box. So when you purchase this, you purchase all those 4 different games, and they are contained in this rule set. Also, Us Victories, which is the main game, it is very simple. It has campaigns, it has a campaign scenario, but it is also a smaller scenario. Okay, this is the Italian rule set, so probably you're not going to understand a single word of what you're seeing now. No problems at all. There is an English version. Also, this rule set, at least the rules for the main game for Us Victories, they can be downloaded from the Dissimula website in PDF format, also in English language. So don't worry, you don't have to learn Italian to play this game. Even if you learn Italian, it's not a bad thing. Anyway, very high quality production, good graphic, very readable. So nice reproduction of the letter assignment by Lincoln to General Hookup, and a nice order of battle, and some game advice, game notes by Alessandro Barbero, which is one of the main military historians of Italy, who is also a fervent wargamer, and has also worked as the developer for this title. Another added value, and also a nice, fine, fantastic, a nice bibliography. So lots of historical research here. This leaflet, this rule set contains all the 4 games. As you can see, they are quite simple. Even Us Victories is a very simple, very accessible game. If you are totally new to wargames, even Us Victories itself may be one of the smaller scenarios to have, maybe to understand for the first time the rules. Well, it is totally accessible, even to total newbies. But the strategic game, as we said, also the skirmish game are 2 pages of rules. They're very light, very easy, very simple. You go and you are immediately engaged in historical wargaming. Also, this is very good if you are a veteran wargamer, but maybe you have a friend who is not wargaming. Once again, one of those very patient life partners that we have that is not into wargaming. Well, you purchase this box, you play Us Victories with other veteran wargamers, but the strategic game or the skirmish game can be played with anyone. They do not require any experience at all. But also Us Victories, as I was saying, is totally fine for a newbie to wargames. Inside, after the rule set, you find lots of other stuff, too much stuff, but also a very handy guide to the material you will find inside. As you see, divided into the 4 games. The main game, Us Victories, solitaire game, which is UFO Joe, strategic game, Potter Plan, and skirmish game, Red Die of Courage. Inside, you find, once again, after that, much of the material is double face. So in this face you have a schematic of all, resume of all the material inside, and we have a possible option, because there are also variant rules to Us Victories, a variable placement map. You can also you have this is used with an optional rule to have different setups for starting setups, especially for the campaign scenario. So lots of replayability, as we were saying. Okay, this one is a leaflet. There was a similar one into France Surrender to Rome with tanks. Now it's not tanks, it's soldiers. It's a uniform guide to let you identify the different paper figures you will see in a moment, as you will see, but also an historical guide to the weapons and uniforms. So if you have some unpainted miniatures. And who has not unpainted miniatures? Let's be honest. Okay, you can use this as a reference guide. Very nice, very informative, also with units, with historical units. This one, another double face element. On this side, it's a ruler for the Skirmish game, simple rule. This is in centimeters, sorry, metric, European continental metrics. I don't know if they, no, it's centimeters, you do not get inches, I'm sorry about that. Blame Napoleon. And no, not Napoleon, the French Revolution actually. Oh, anyway, and on the other side, a ruler, which is used with this, with the solitaire booklet. I was saying that a solitaire was innovative. As it is perfectly explained here in this, in this leaflet, you place your ruler here, and you roll dice, and you see this is the attitude of the bot. First of all, you define which page you are going to use, because the pages are different. It's almost like a book game. You place the ruler here, and you decide, you roll dice, you see where you are going to stop, and in this defines the attitude, and after you have defined the attitude, you get the priorities for that attitude, and so you decide the behavior of the solitaire bot. And it is also really a nice diagram, flux diagram, to let you understand everything. This is the most elaborate system. I got to try it very well, but I'm very intrigued by that. Once again, the bot is just the Union bot. You play as the Confederate, and you play against the Union bot. There is not a Confederate bot, which is understandable, because after all, it seems strange. But as a Confederate, even if you have less guys on the field, you are going to attack. That is the genius of Robert E. Lee. Okay, dice, simple dice, 9 dice. Okay, nothing special, but it's nice to have them. Okay, other stuff, the important stuff, counters, counter sheets. Okay, as the guide tells us, the first three sheets are for Us Victories. Okay, but there is something nice. These 2 sheets, even if they don't look like that, they are totally the same. Why? Because we have this one if you want to use NATO symbols for your troops, and this one if you want to use silhouettes for your troops. It is totally up to you. Just the same as the same units, the same values. You just decide what you want to do. Okay, today I'm going to play with NATO symbols, or the next day, no, I'm going to play with silhouettes. No, NATO symbols, no silhouettes. It's just the same, no difference at all. For the counter sheet, the activation sheets. I said this is a cheat pool system, but also the status markers and other stuff, all the other lovely counters that we love so much as wargames. The fourth sheet is for the strategic, the solitaire, the skirmish game. Altogether, they use far less counters. And as you see, very nice colors. It is a satin effect, nice thickness, and they have no center nibs. They are just here on the corners. They get punched quite well. Punched one and replaced it once again. Place it back into the sheet, but very nice. And they can be clipped if you want with a counter clipper. So very nice counters. After that, a lot of player hate charts. Once again, our love and beauty as wargames. UA4 Joe, as I said, with the area decides which page of the booklet you are going to use, and this is used for that, and other pieces of the system. And on the back there is the deployment for the Army of Potomac. Before that, I wanted to show these are the 8 charts. Okay. Yeah. Okay. The old terrain effect chart, we all know that. But also the setup for the campaign scenario, but also for the single smaller scenarios, okay, for more smaller scenarios. This is the area of play. You're not going to use in the single scenarios the entire map. You're going to use the entire map and the 2 entire maps for the campaign game, and this defines the playing area, and it is a graphical setup. There are guidelines on the rule set, but as always with Sergio likes to do more graphical setups, and it tells you where to place units and so on and so on. These are the setup graphic sheets. After that, you have the pieces for the Skirmish game. Beautiful paper figures. If you don't have miniatures, they are double-faced, very nice. You can cut them and then glue to the bases. You have figures, but you also have scenic elements. But if you don't have something, you can cut them up, glue them, and play with them immediately. After that, maps. Again with a small one. There is the map for the strategic game. Oh, there is also a guide here for the main places. Something of a historical guide, historical tour guide of the battlefield. This is the strategic map for the strategic game. Perfect plan, you see, very simple area movement map with the turn track, the pulse track, and very nice, very readable. And here you are with the main maps. I'm not going to unfold them totally because they are quite the 2 of them together are, well, they're not too large. Let's expect 1/3 more than your usual map in both 8 and width. But I want to show you the beauty of these maps, because Sergio is also a great cartographer, a great graphic, and so just here you see the beauty of these maps. For example, Fredericksburg, very thick maps, the paper maps, but very thick, satin effect. Once again, here is the turn record track with the number of combat sheets, of activation sheets. Sorry, you're going to place in the cap. You may have, for example, 5 activation sheets, but you are going, turn 12, you can put just 3 of them. So you have to choose one going to activate. Of course, the opponent does not know, but you also can group some of these corps or division activation sheets into one single sheet of your commander-in-chief. So when that sheet is drawn, okay, you activate them all together, all those formations, but if you activate them early, then the opponent can activate all his units after. So it is up to you. This is up to you to manage that. This is the beauty of this system. It is something of a corrected, a reasoned cheat poll system. Okay, this is it. That is it. This is the game material. As it said, very nice game package. It is not just because he is Sergio is a game designer, a friend, and Italian. I'm going to say that, but this is a very great package by many different game designers. Sergio Schiavi, Giacomo Fusetti, Giovanni Maccioni, Giuseppe Tamba. You see, lots of Italian wargames and wargame designers all together for this single package, which gives you ton of replayability for different games after all. And also, a main game, Us Victories, can be played in solitaire because it is an activation, a cheat pool activation game, so very easy to play, but also with the bot if you want, or the Skirmish game. The Skirmish game is a sandbox, so you can easily adapt it for many different, also for different campaigns, different eras, and you can do whatever you want. So, and also the strategic game is a very nice filler war game, but also a very good war game to introduce someone to war games. This is Us Victories. I'm really happy for this package. I'm really happy of my purchase, and I'm really happy on how it turned out. Now I'm going to try it. Maybe I will do some other episodes about it in on the blog, but I wanted to show you all the very high quality components. Once again, you can go on the Di Simula Edizioni website and purchase that and see. Okay, the shipment model, let's hope that there is an international distributor. Anyway, if you can get hold of this, I highly recommend it. This is Give Us Victories by Sergio Schiavi and his other friends. And that was this vlog. As always, goodbye, see you next time, have a very good day, and as always, don't be scared, it's just war games. Bye, ciao.